It's about time that this film finally came out in theaters. It's getting a bunch of Oscar nominations. How was it? Well, let's talk about it. Hey everyone, my name is Ryan, and today on the channel I'm going to be discussing a comedy drama film called American Fiction. This film was directed by Jefferson, and this is his directorial debut. The film stars Jeffrey Wright, Issa Rae, Erica Alexander, and Sterling K. Brown. The film is about a character named Monk, played by Jeffrey Wright. He is a professor and also a writer, and he's been trying to publish his books, but he keeps getting rejected. He's known very academically for his writing, but he just apparently is not black enough. So when he actually publishes a book or tries to publish a book under a fake name, all of a sudden they really like his work and they want to give him a book deal. I really did like the music in here. It is jazz music. It's very relaxing from scene to scene when we're going through non-emotional bits of the story, because there is a balancing act in here where there is some comedy, which I would say light chuckles, but there is some comedy bits to actually enjoy about this film. It definitely has some emotional moments, particularly in the beginning of the film, and even towards the 2/3 mark of the film, there is some emotional moments and some relatable moments that I could actually relate to certain characters and family members of what they're actually going through. Monk is a main character. He just says what he needs to say. He really doesn't really care about popular opinion. He knows that he's just going to just go for whatever he wants to say. He's going to do it, and I definitely commend him for that, because you need people like that to really just speak up and not be really quiet. On the flip side though, he is a little bit inconsistent with his family, and I think that could pose a little bit of a problem for some of the viewers watching his character unfold, because he's just not the best with his family. His love life is very absent, and it definitely poses a challenge as to loving him as a character, because he has two sides to him, I would say. But I did like his character throughout this film. I thought that he was very witty in the way that he actually carried his character, and there were some funny bits, especially when he's going through this time of making up this fake author name and making up this book with really terrible dialogue. I definitely laughed at some of the comedy bits, especially when he actually names the title of the book. That just completely made me laugh, because it definitely proved that stupid stuff like this apparently gets made. I did question a little bit of the cultural resemblance here, because obviously I can't actually relate to this kind of thing, and I don't know if this is something where it really is true in writing and reading kind of culture. If it is true, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that blacks actually have to go through this, because it's just like, with these kinds of books that they're actually trying to write, they actually have to have this dialogue to actually greenlight them, to actually get them printed. It was just unbelievable to me with when he actually writes this terrible dialogue book. That's when he gets the attention, but if it's academically correct, it's like, no, you're not black enough. There were a few times in the film where they are really trying to go for the cinematography piece, and they got a little too cute with the camera, and I was just like, yeah, it really seems like they're really trying for an Oscar here with certain shots in the film. The third act for me, I wouldn't say that it completely clicked. It was a little bit too bonkers for me. I was a little bit confused by the ending a little bit, and I definitely think that they could have touched up a little bit more on the ending, because I really wasn't really ultimately satisfied with the ending. And I have read online where people were a little bit upset by the ending, but a lot of people are giving this really good scores. I would say that would knock down the score a little bit for this film. I definitely would have gave it a higher score if the third act actually stuck the landing a little bit more. But overall for me, as far as a score for this film, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. It has some little funny bits, little chuckles here and there, not laugh out loud humor all the way for me, and maybe that's because of the cultural resemblance or some of the jokes maybe that I didn't quite get throughout the film. But I think overall it was entertaining. It was well written for the most part, and I really enjoyed Monk as a character and really enjoying the emotional bits in certain pieces of the film. And overall, it kept my attention. The pacing was pretty good, and overall, I would say it's a pretty good movie. I want to hear from you guys though. What did you guys think about American Fiction? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't seen it yet, are you going to check it out when it comes to streaming or when it comes to your theaters? I just got it now. now it's been a little bit over a couple months since this film came out. So I was just glad that we finally got it. And I understand it's not the most accessible movie, but when it comes to streaming or VOD, are you going to check it out? Let me know. All comments down in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching this review, and I will see you guys on my next review.